All right, welcome back, everyone. We're back with another one-on-one with a draftee, and we're joined by not only is he a leader, not only is he a contested animal, but he's also an MVP. We've got South Australia's finest, Adam Gllenn. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Good to have you on the show. We've heard a lot about you. As discussed off camera, you are a fan favourite of a great friend of the channel, Ben Hader. So he'll be excited to have you on. How's the nerves going? About 4 days now till draft. How we're feeling?
Yeah, they're not too bad, if I'm being honest. Don't think about it too much. I just, take it as it comes, and whatever happens, happens. Go with that mindset.
Mate, it's probably the best mindset. It's obviously a daunting time, I'd imagine. It's everywhere you go at the moment in being here in Australia. But how has the off-season been for you? Have you had a good break? Feel refreshed?
Yeah, the off-season's been good. Obviously I had a bit of a break and just been spending time with family and friends. But back into pre-season with my Sandford club, the Eagles, at the moment, and been enjoying that.
Mate, you've got to stay active, and obviously pre-season will ramp up in like the next 4 or 5 days for you. But with South Australia, you have a rare thing where you've had probably more football than the Victorians because COVID didn't quite affect the South Australians as much. But the year before last, it was quite big in your under 16 year. How did you negate that, and how was your experience there, and how did you stay focused on the footy?
Yeah, we probably got it a bit better than the eastern states, which is fortunate. But it still affected us a little bit. And I guess it was just trying to stay positive and remain optimistic about it. It wasn't too challenging in that we still got a bit of footy away. And even though I think the Sandford season got ruined in my under 16s year, I was still lucky enough to play a bit of college football and really enjoyed that. So, it wasn't too bad staying on track in that year.
Mate, it's awesome. I mean, it was bizarre, wasn't it? Like, obviously, Australia, everyone had different rules. Like here in Vic, there was no footy at all. So, like you guys, like you say, you managed to get through it a bit quicker than the rest of the states.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a bit fortunate over here.
Now, how would you rate your year this year going into the draft? Obviously, there was much talked about last year because you were described as the hottest prospect outside of Jason Horne-Francis, and you were super impressive in your bottom age year. How have you seen this year going for you?
Yeah, I felt like I've had a pretty solid year. I've been able to perform on an individual level pretty well. Haven't had too much team success this year, but from an individual standpoint, I think I've been able to string some good footy together. So hopefully that holds me in good stead.
Yeah, well, I mean, South Australia, they just didn't quite reach that potential, did they? That I think you guys were better than you showed. But one thing about you is you really did showcase your willingness to fight. You're hard at it in tackles and getting the ball out of the contest. How would you describe your game style, though, for those maybe not familiar with it?
Yeah, I'm definitely someone who enjoys the contested side of the game. I like to win the hard ball. I think I've got pretty clean hands and been able to distribute out and put my teammates in the best position possible, I'd say.
And how has the feedback been from the AFL clubs? Obviously, I'd imagine that's really daunting. How have you found that process, just chatting to them?
Yeah, it's been a good process. I quite enjoy getting the opportunity to chat to AFL clubs, which is pretty exciting, and I'm fortunate to be in that position. And yeah, I've enjoyed the experience, having them tell me what they like from me and what they want to keep seeing me work on. So it's good to take that feedback on board, and it's something I definitely appreciate.
That's cool. I imagine that's such a bizarre process. You know, all of a sudden you're enjoying footy, and then I'd imagine it becomes really real when you're sat in front of the AFL clubs that this is a career. This is going to be serious for you.
Yeah, it's something that happens pretty quickly. It goes from just playing for footy for fun and possibly having a dream of playing in AFL to something that's realistic could happen. So yeah, it's pretty weird how it changes so quickly.
And you've got that where you're scheduled to go. There's obviously a lot of clubs in Victoria. There's a few Perth sides as well. How does the thought of potentially in a week's time up in sticks and starting a new life in a different state, how does that feel to you?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited by the prospect of moving into state. I think it would be a good challenge to have, and I think I'd handle it pretty well, and it'd definitely be something that's pretty fun. And exciting, and yeah, something kind of looking forward to for sure.
And we speak to a lot of AFL players, and they say that the VFL, the state leagues, once you master that, you jump to AFL, and it's like a total different game. Now you're prepared to jump into the AFL. How have you seen the differences from playing Colts to playing national champs? Obviously, you've excelled at both. Is there a noticeable difference on the ball for you when you're playing in the state league games versus playing in the NAB?
Yeah, definitely. Every level you go up, the game gets a little bit quicker. You have a little less time with the footy. There's a few more bodies around putting pressure on. So I think it's just natural that the higher up you go, the quicker the game gets, the quicker you have to make your decisions. But it's something I enjoy. I love going up in levels and trying to take on that challenge of playing against the best players in this country, I guess. So yeah, it was definitely something I enjoyed.
And through that journey, have you found your preparation for the games change? Is there anything that you've added this year that has really helped you? And how has that changed from last year to now? What does that pre-game prep look like?
Yeah, so it's just about trying to be as professional as possible. I guess with the nutrition and the hydration side, just doing everything right from that standpoint. And then as well as we do goal setting as well before games. So I guess that's something that you don't usually do when you're younger, but it's about having a plan of how you're going to succeed in the game and how you're going to put the team in the best position to win. So I guess that's something that's new that I do before games.
And obviously, we've been a leader like yourself. You've played with a lot of players and you've seen a lot of players grow probably in your team. Is there anyone that stands out that you think isn't getting enough conversation in the draft that you think, you know what, this kid has got some talent?
The ones that probably stand out when you ask that question are the boys who have had a bit of injury this year. So I think there's a few boys from South, Will and Jade Magor, who missed a bit of the championships because of injury, but they're both super talented. So in terms of being underrated, I definitely think those two are ones who could definitely prove a few people wrong.
And is there a game that you would suggest for the viewers at home to watch if they want to learn about your game style? Is there a game that stands out where you think that showcases my abilities probably the best?
I guess I have to go with the under 18s grand final last year because that was a pretty special game for myself, and lucky enough got best on that game, and to win the premiership with the boys is pretty special. So I think that definitely demonstrates what I'm about as a footballer.
And who's been the biggest influence through your journey? Is someone stands out that's really taken you under the wing and really helped you on and off the field?
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate to have some great coaches throughout my career. So out at school level, I've had Mick M and Brett Ebert, who are two pretty experienced coaches who have both played at the highest level. So they're two that stand out in just guiding me on how to carry myself off field, and as well as the training standards and the how to play on field as well.
And obviously this will change, this answer, in 5 days, but is there a current AFL team that you find yourself a fan of?
Yeah, I'm a big Blues supporter, actually. So, yeah, I've always been Blues growing up. So,
hey, that is rare. That is rare. We don't get often some Carlton players on here. Everyone supports Collingwood.
Yeah, nah, definitely not. Got to go with the Blues.
So, favourite player, I'm assuming the way you play, it might be the guy just over my left shoulder.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love watching Griffin and the way he goes about it. And yeah, definitely try to model my game off his a little bit.
Well, I mean, obviously, Carlton, we have talked about you on the show as a potential for one of our later picks, and thoughts of potentially working with an AFL industry midfield group. I bet that's something that's super exciting for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's that'd be super exciting to just get in and try to learn off the best in the business, I guess, and try to be a sponge and pick up everything I can be. So yeah, that's definitely an exciting prospect.
And obviously there's a lot wrote about these draftees, and we're very careful on this show how we talk about you guys, because obviously there's a lot of development to go. A lot's been made up of your speed, which I don't like. The two things I complain about in the AFL recruitment is kicking efficiency and speed, two things that I don't think are as important as made out. You're a very quick thinker. How do you respond to them types of criticism when you read them? Does that affect you, or is that something that you just block out and you just carry on with your day?
Yeah, I guess it's something that is always going to be there, but I like to listen to the people closest to me and my coaches, and I guess their feedback's the feedback I really take on board. And if they tell me something they want me to work on, that will be what I work on. But in terms of the speed and that sort of stuff, I'm always trying to be better and get quicker. So yeah, definitely a growth area, I suppose.
There is a warning as well there. There's Cripper, the guy behind me, was mentioned as slow quite a bit in the last few years. And when he lost the weight, we saw a massive effect on Cripper's output. So I always say that with speed, you look at Pendlebury, he's not the quickest. It's all about the fastness of the mind. And I think you've got them gifts. From watching you in the juniors, you think quick.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd say that's one of my strengths, being able to make quick decisions. And like you touched on, a lot of the AFL players have had that knock against them, but they're all champions of the game, and they've been able to forge great careers. So definitely, trying to follow in their paths.
Now, looking at footy, going into the future, let's say you're playing for the Mighty Blues, 5 minutes to go, elimination final. They've just kicked a goal. We're 2 goals down. There's 5 minutes to go. What are we seeing from you to impact the game? What's your headspace like?
Yeah, I'm probably just it's all go. So it's being as desperate and relentless as possible, trying to win the ball back if they've got it, or if we have the ball, just trying to take the game on, use the corridor, be really attacking, and hopefully get the ball in a scoring position and win the game back, I suppose.
I imagine we'll see a lot of tackles as well, because for those watching at home, when you do see some of Adam's highlights, when you tackle someone, they stay tackled. You seem to really enjoy that physicality part of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy that side of the game, and it's a really important skill to have, tackling, and because broken tackles are a big coach killer. So definitely try to make them stick when I get the chance.
As a Carlton fan since I've been here, that's music to my ears. Broken tackles, they kill it. They kill it. They kill the fan base, not just the coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, going into the future, you've retired. How would you like your fan base to remember you of the club? What would you like them to say about you?
On field, I'd like them to think of me as a courageous player, someone who's really team orientated and has always put the team first and been able to have a great career for the club. And then I'd also like to be remembered as a really great individual off field, someone with good character and someone who's really immersed in the community, I'd say.
Mate, I love that, mate. You'll fit right in. Carlton, if you're watching, pick this kid up. Now, if you were the list manager, what pick would you be using on you? What number?
It's a difficult one. Probably, I'd say somewhere in the middle portion of the draft, maybe in the 20s, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to go wherever. I don't think the pick matters too much once you get into a club.
Mate, we'll all be rooting for you on Monday. We'll be hoping to hear your name called out. Definitely can't wait to hear that. Now, we end with some more out there questions, and this has probably been a favourite of the draftees because we've had some weird and wonderful answers. Posters on your wall as a kid, what did you have?
I don't think I had anything too out there. I reckon I had Juddy at one point, being a blue supporter, and I reckon Murph might have been up there as well at one point. So yeah, just a few Holden boys.
Mark Murphy getting the love that he deserves as well. We need more Mark Murphy love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's the most bizarre food you've ever tried, Adam?
I reckon crocodile would have to be the most bizarre. I haven't had too many out there ones, but yeah, crocodile's a little bit different, and I've had that.
So it's one of them things that falls in the chicken carrot category, isn't it? Like it's got very chickeny texture.
Yeah, definitely tastes a little bit like chicken and has that texture. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Mate, it's very healthy as well. So they say it's like 0 fat, so it's pretty good for a growing sportsman.
Yeah, right. Might have to incorporate a bit more then.
Now, if you had a personal theme song, what is it? What's your go-to song? The song that fires you up?
I reckon "Walking on a Dream." That's a good tune, and I think it's got a good message behind it. So we'll go with that.
Hey, mate, I like that. That's different to where everyone's just smashing Drake at the minute. That's been
really?
Drake is the most common answer, I think.
Yeah. No.
Now, Xmas just around the corner, Christmas. What is the best Christmas gift Adam's ever got?
I reckon as a younger kid, getting your first bike's probably one that's pretty hard to go past. Yeah, I remember riding that around the Christmas tree as a little tacker. So yeah, we'll roll with that.
Yeah, mate. I think bikes are a go-to out there. Even my kids. My kids are at that 8 years old stage where it's bikes and skateboards are back in fashion. So quality gift for a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you got a guilty pleasure? Something that you binge watch? What kind of things do you get up to in the downtime?
One show that I watch a lot of, Modern Family. I think that's the go-to sitcom for me. Don't watch anything too out there, but yeah, I've got Modern Family.
Mate, it's a classic as well. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Good light-hearted show.
100%.
And is there a fictional character that you'd like to be? If you could swap places with something from TV, film, who would you swap places with?
Indiana Jones is one I always liked, and I think he's a pretty adventurous, pretty smart, and he's got a good sense of humor. So he's one that sticks out.
Mate, that was actually one of my first dream jobs when I was a kid. I watched that, and I thought being an archaeologist looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
And then they sent me on work experience with an archaeologist at the museum in the UK, and I realised that it wasn't like that, and it was just digging holes. I was gutted.
Yeah, you don't actually get to be Indiana Jones.
I was gutted. Well, Adam, on behalf of the channel, mate, we wish you the best of luck. We can't wait to see how your career blossoms. You're a real good kid, had a really good year, and we can't wait to see you tear it up in the AFL space. But thank you very much for joining us, my friend.
Nah, thanks heaps. I appreciate you having me on.
Cheers, Adam.